So my favorite age range is like 6th grade-ish on either end of
So like preteen to teen, like that, like transition age?
I like the younger. The
Okay.
younger, so like early adolescence is kind of my favorite age. I'm going into CPS, so I'll be all ages.
That's actually what I want to go into, either CPS or in elementary schools as a social worker. I just got my internship for my BSW program. I'm going to be at Hillcrest Elementary School in Bayview as the social work intern. So
I'm
it's
at
just
an elementary school right now.
Oh, cool. Where?
McCoppin and Richmond.
Okay. That was actually one of my next questions. Like, where are you interning at for the MSW program? So why did you choose SF State as your MSW program out of the schools you applied to, or if this was the only school?
This was the only school I applied to. I went to the information session. I know a lot of people that had gone through this program already and had gone through the MFT program here. So I was kind of like, okay, I know the school. I already went to the school. I know I'd been to the graduation before, so I knew what people had really focused on and what we're able to focus on. I've seen it shrink in size since I've been at the school for way too long. So I've seen it evolve and change over the time period, like since 2004 probably. And so it seemed like the program I knew the most about, so I felt the most comfortable. With it, I like the social justice aspect
of it.
Yeah, and I didn't want to move.
So are you originally from San Francisco?
I'm originally from Marin. But
Okay,
I've been
so the
in
Bay
San
Area.
Francisco for 10 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I didn't want to move to San Jose. I wanted to do MPH, MSW, but that would mean moving to LA.
What does MPH stand for?
Master's in Public Health.
Okay.
Because I was in public health. Public health-ish social work kind of education prior to this.
Okay.
So public health I'm super interested in, but I feel like you can still address that.
You can address that within an agency. Like if you work at a specific agency, you can address the public health aspect within Child Protective Services or...
Yeah.
That's awesome. How are you liking the MSW program? Are you getting out of it what you expected, or you wish there was
I wish there
a little
was
bit
more
more
clinical work.
More clinical work?
And I didn't realize quite how little there would be. And I know that other programs are way more clinical than state, so that could have been something that I researched more in advance. Other than that, I really like my professors, I like my classmates.
Sorry. Are you going to want to get your LCSW?
That would be ideal. I want to move out of the country, so I'm not quite sure if that's too realistic and whether it will transfer to Canada or not. So, yes, but maybe
because I know
not.
in each state there's different tests, like the hours.
They're changing it. By the
they're
time
changing
I graduate, it will be all U.S.
I did not know that. That's
LCSW
something
test
I
will
learned
take.
new. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
And lastly, if you could give advice to someone who's considering getting her MSW, what would it be?
Save a lot of money before you do it.
Okay.
Because if you go to San Francisco State, you're living in the Bay Area, and it's really expensive, and that adds a lot of stress to your workload because you can't, if you're Title IV at least, there's no time to work while you're in the program.
Because you
have extra classes. Like
what is Title IV again?
That's the CPS track.
Okay.
So you get funding. You get $18,500 per year.
Okay.
But once you pay tuition twice in books, then that doesn't really equal what rent is, and definitely not food.
And then it builds up.
So you get funded for 2 years, and then you work for a California county for 2 years afterwards. So that's the Title IV.
Oh, so through the program you're gonna get.
So like I get paid every semester.
Okay.
And that covers my school costs and some of my housing costs. And then when I graduate, on my second year internship is with CPS. I don't have a choice; it has to be with CPS.
Okay.
And then I have to work for a county anywhere in California, and California only, for 2 years, and then I don't owe anything back.
And then you can. Oh, okay. That's.
Otherwise, I owe money. And there's more stipulations, but that's the general. Like there's time frames. So I think Title IV is good because you get extra trainings and extra classes, and you learn stuff specific for child welfare, and I like that. And 18 units is a lot. 10-hour days of classes is a lot. You're not going to be able to go to work after that. You're not, even if it's a night job, like, and writing all your papers.
You're going to be exhausted by the end of the day.
So
I'm in 6 hours of class, like,
6
straight.
hours. 6 hours is nothing. Because you have 6 hours, then you have a break, and you have another 3 hours. So, like, you got to be ready for that, ready for internship 2 to 3 times a week in your first year. So, I don't think that's really realistic to do a good job in school and really do the reading and learn if you're working on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to have the money or be willing to go into the debt when you're going to a field that doesn't pay well. So, I would say money is the biggest issue.
Money is the biggest issue, okay. That's something I've been thinking about a lot, too, because I know, like, a lot of my family has been telling me, why are you going into social work? Like, it's not going to pay well. But, like, I know that no matter what, like, I want to get my MSW because I feel like I can make a difference. And that's, money-wise, yeah, it's going to be a little stressful. But, like, I'm accomplishing my goal that I've wanted to do since 10th grade.
Well, you're going to make a lot more than if you have a BSW.
Exactly. That's why I want to move forward with my MSW and further my education on that. And probably do the Title 4E because I want to do work in Child Protective Services.
I would recommend applying to San Jose State.
San Jose State? Okay.
Not that I don't like San Francisco, but looking at you, you appear white. I don't know if that's true. If it is, apply to San Jose State because they accept very few white people in Title 4E.
Really?
I'm the only one. And there was none the year before. And they're always gay or trans. The class above me has white women in the non-Title 4E, but I have seen very few white people
in the master's program.
In the Title 4E specifically. So I would be aware of that.
Okay.
And be aware that all the other schools have tons of white women.
Very
I'm
interesting
not saying that it's specifically because of that, but I'm saying be aware that San Francisco State has the lowest percentage of white people.
I've been thinking about going back to Los Angeles though too for school to live with my family, so I don't have.
I would highly recommend living with family. If you can, half of our program's living with family. Okay. If you can live with family, my family lives in Canada. It's not an option. I would do it. Like, it's so expensive. It's a huge strain on my relationship, my housing. It's awful. That's what's awful about being in school is that I can't afford rent, and rent in San Francisco is extremely expensive.
Well, thank you for your time. You answered a lot of my questions, and thank you.